All right, so let's talk about something really weird at the heart of modern artificial intelligence. You see, the most powerful AI models we have today, well, according to all the old textbooks, they should be complete and utter failures. But they're not. They work incredibly well. And that's the paradox we're going to unravel.
For years, this idea was basically the gospel of machine learning. The rule was simple. If your model is too complex, it doesn't just learn the pattern you want it to, it starts to memorize every little bit of noise in the data. So yeah, it gets a perfect score on the stuff it's already seen, but the moment you show it something new, it completely falls apart. We call that overfitting.
And this U-shaped curve was the picture everyone had in their head. On the bottom, you have model complexity. The more powerful your model gets, the further to the right you go. And on the side, you have your error rate. If your model's too simple, over on the left, it underfits. If it's too complex, on the right, it overfits. The whole game was to find that perfect sweet spot right at the bottom of the U. But here's the thing. Modern deep learning comes along and just blows this whole idea up. The neural networks that power pretty much all the AI you hear about today, they seem to be playing a totally different game.
I mean, we are talking about models with a truly staggering number of parameters. Millions, sometimes even billions. On that classic U-curve, these things are so far to the right, they're not even on the chart. They are deep, deep in what should be the overfitting danger zone.
And this is where it gets really mind-bending. Just look at this. The graph on the left shows the training error going all the way down to 0, a perfect score. But look at the test error, the real-world performance. It stays low. And even crazier, check out the table on the right. These models are so powerful, they can get 100% accuracy even when you feed them data with completely random nonsensical labels. They can literally memorize garbage.
So that brings us to the central mystery, right? If you have a model with the power to perfectly memorize every single detail, every bit of noise, even straight-up nonsense, why doesn't it? How does it still manage to find the real underlying pattern and actually work on new data?
Well, it turns out the answer isn't about the size of the model. It's about how it's trained. There's a kind of hidden force, a secret preference that's baked right into the training algorithm itself.
And that secret preference has a name: implicit bias. It's the idea that the training algorithm itself has a taste. You see, for a huge model, there are countless ways to get a perfect score on the training data. But the algorithm is biased. It prefers to find solutions that are, in some way, simple or smooth.
You could think of it like this. Imagine the training process is like a ball rolling down a huge, complex landscape, trying to find the lowest possible point. For these massive models, there isn't just one low point, there's an entire valley of points that represent a perfect zero-error score.
But here's the key. The algorithm, usually something called gradient descent, it doesn't just pick any random path down into that valley. It has a favorite route. It's naturally biased toward finding solutions that are not just perfect, but also simple, often meaning they have smaller weight values, and those are the solutions that tend to generalize well to new data.
And that's really the magic of why deep networks work so well in practice. Their search space is smooth and continuous, which makes them perfectly suited for an algorithm like gradient descent to gently guide them step by step toward these good, simple solutions that are hiding among a sea of much more complex ones. You know, what's incredible is that this idea was floated way back in 1997. It was so ahead of its time. The key takeaway is that it's not just about how many parameters your network has. It's about the character of the solution that the training algorithm finds. That implicit bias is everything.
So, with this new understanding of implicit bias, we have to basically take our old map of machine learning theory, crumple it up, and draw a completely new one. So let's look at that classic U-shaped curve one last time. For decades, this was the whole world. We were always taught that going past that sweet spot at the bottom was a huge mistake. But it turns out we just weren't zoomed out enough. If you keep pushing the complexity past that peak of overfitting, something amazing happens. The error doesn't just keep going up forever. It starts to go down again. This is the double descent curve. This second dip happens in what we now call the over-parameterized regime, and that's exactly where modern deep learning models live. It starts right around the point where the model is big enough to perfectly fit the training data. And from there, making the model even bigger can actually make it better.
We have a name for this phenomenon: benign overfitting. It means, yes, the model is technically overfitting. It's fitting the training data perfectly, noise and all. But it's doing it in such a simple, smooth way, thanks to that implicit bias, that it doesn't actually hurt its performance on new data. It's overfitting, but it's a totally harmless kind. So what does this new map of the world really mean for how we build and think about AI from now on?
So let's just tie this all together. That old U-shaped curve isn't wrong. It was just incomplete. We now know that the implicit bias of our training algorithms is a powerful guiding force that pushes them to find simple solutions. This allows them to achieve this benign overfitting, which in turn creates the double descent curve, where pushing past the classic overfitting peak can actually make our models better.
And if you want to see why this matters in the real world, this slide is perfect. We're comparing two different training algorithms, SGD and Adam. Now on the left, Adam seems to learn faster. Its training error drops like a rock. But look at the graph on the right, the one that actually matters for real-world performance. SGD ultimately finds a better solution that generalizes more effectively. The choice of your algorithm isn't just about speed. It fundamentally changes the implicit bias and therefore the quality of the final solution.
Ultimately, understanding these hidden preferences in our algorithms is what's going to let us move from just kind of accidentally discovering powerful models to being able to intentionally design and engineer them. It really is the key to making AI more robust, more reliable, and a whole lot smarter.
Which kind of leaves us with one final big question to chew on. We've uncovered this incredibly powerful, hidden force that's shaping the world's most advanced AI. So it really makes you wonder, what other secret preferences are hiding in plain sight, quietly guiding the thousands of other algorithms that are increasingly shaping our world?